Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. My name is Rabenschild. After losing all your settings and all that stuff, it's weird because people complained rightly about desync issues with the sound, and I talked about that in the last episode that I have that, and I have to get used to a bit more cutting in game again, basically. So I need to keep the recordings short. So normally what I did before was record and then just keep the recording going as long as I wanted to record. And that has to change again with the X story, because it seems that the X story, as soon as it runs into encoding problems or so, and that can happen while moving, while loading in stuff, even with the system I have now, it can basically this basically can happen. It's weird stuff. So again, I will try to keep that going and stop basically recording whenever I don't know. Yeah, when I want to make a cut, anyways. That should help, and maybe synchronizing it better with. I'm used to making sound points for me, points where I do a peep or a click or noise or something like that to and then close at the same time the main menu, so that I see, okay, here's a point to sync up. It's weird, but that's how I worked before, and I can just do that here too. Then I can sync stuff a bit better, I would say. We will see how that works out. Now I have wasted a minute on stuff that you are probably not interested in. Okay, what we have to do today is I want to set up Tim. Because I'm running into the issue that my assembler basically doesn't produce stuff. So no automatically produce stuff. My brain now in Space Engineers is so wired that everything just gets produced, and Tim does that. I constantly have to go and say, okay, I want to have this thing, I want to build this thing, do it for me, and it stops, and then what is happening? Maybe I'm just missing parts that I have to take a look at, and then click on what do I need. I need interior plates, I need small steel tubes, so I have to go and then just order some small steel tubes and some interior plates. Yesterday I went out and did some mining, and I got us some materials. You can see that here. The refinery is hard at work at going at it and trying to catch up with all the stuff I have. And I still have ice, I still have more gold, I have stone for reactor components, I have magnesium ore, I have more nickel and more iron. Iron is nice, I can just get it from here, as I can also get cobalt from here. It was cobalt. And what I have done with it is I have built big cargo containers to store the stuff in, and I still have this one, but I want to have a bit of cargo space left for basically so that I now can go and say, okay, I want components in this, I want ingots in this, and that's why I want to install Tim. We need to change that anyways later. So I decided that I want to utilize this opening basically for my base. I want to, build ships inside of this opening, hide the ships in there, all that stuff. That might be nice, and I want to run the base on the inside but keep that open, and I really don't have it in my I can see it in my, yeah, the my I can't describe it. Good. I upgraded, or not upgraded. I've put on some more thrusters onto the ship. It's needed. I'm running into the same issues that I had before with a friction in space, and I added an ore detector that makes my life a bit easier. People were most people just said the idea of not using GPS points to mark things seems to be a neat idea. Most people say they don't do that anyways. So having just antennas around the base and having a positioning network that way would be neat. What I have to think of now is maybe make a positioning network that is disconnected basically from all the bases. Because the thing is that I ran into the problem before that I had a lot of antennas and all that stuff connected to each other, and then the whole game slowed down as soon as I went into an inventory or as I want to go into the control interface or the terminal, because there were so many things around it that the antennas could pick up that it took time to basically. It's a weird thing, but if you have, don't know, 30 grids that the antennas can get to in here in this menu, then it seems that the terminal tries to prepare for all the grids and tries to see, okay, it's this one, this one, this one, it has these parts, and it tries to keep up with that. And having a lot of them on here seems to slow down basically the opening of the terminal, and I want to prevent that. So I want to see the grids, the antennas, but I don't want my stuff to connect up with them. And now I have to find a way how I can do that. So what I could do, I have some ideas. Maybe again I could have no antennas at my bases. That is not a good idea, because then I couldn't steer drones or something like that. What I also could do is maybe have basically I don't know, maybe someone of you played around with it. Have the whole antenna system as a different faction or something like that. So something that we can see, but that we can't talk to or something like that. Maybe something like that would help. Good, but let us set up Tim. I'm wasting time. Okay, Tim will be set up on a small unit here. I want to have just a block with an electrical panel on it, and then we set up Tim as a small entity on there. Also, if we can do that today, I want to set up what did I want to say? I want to set up we need a medical facility. That's a thing we will have to deal with too. Okay, get rid of this, and now I have to bring this back, and the timer for I will just place it here for now. That is just so that we can get to it pretty easy. I want to have the normal one. And then we just set up Tim as a small programmable block on there and Tim as a small timer on here, because Tim works behind, basically works on all the grids that are connected. This counts as a separate grid, but for Tim it works out. We need construction components and displays. Good. So with this setup I use up less materials for Tim, and I'm basically, what else, displays. I'm using up less materials for Tim, and again I think it looks a bit nicer. So having this setup gives me the opportunity to put, don't know, 10 don't know how many, 2. I could, there's no way I can do the math on that now. It is 5 by 5, 25, 24. If I can just set it up with one timer or 2, don't know, we can set up 23 programmable blocks on here and have them all do different scripts, for example. This is a lot nicer than putting it into multiple big grids, basically. Okay, let us go and edit this, and we want to browse the workshop. Tim, this is Tim. Check code. Remember and exit, and now we use the timer block. So this is Tim, and this is the timer block. I want to run it every second. I want to run it silent. It needs to be set up, and so we programmable block Tim and run with default argument timer block. Just start it and start it. Okay, Tim should run now. The first thing, and I prepared that because you all know that these brackets we Germans can't use in the game because our keyboard is not laid out for that. So I want to have components in here. Tim. Component. It's not the single thing. It is the okay, and ingot. That did work too. So now components and the ingots. By the way, one neat thing is you find better tools in some of the in some of the unknown signal satellites, basically. So why do I have the ores in here? Maybe I have to set up one for ore too. Just to do it for now. I know it doesn't look good here at the moment, but the whole thing, again, we will have to live with it like it is at the moment. It's not beautiful. That hopefully changes. I got the request to build oxygen-filled rooms, and I will do that definitely at one point. But right now I my main focus is on getting the whole setup up and running. The whole thing I need at the moment is again this base in running order, and at the moment I can just get my O2 from going into a cockpit or something like that, and I don't need rooms to rest in. Okay, now let us set up this assembler. I think setting up the assembler, we can go with Tim and Otto. Yes, because then the assembler will just grab all it needs, and what we could do is then also set up do we need an information screen right now? Maybe I can go without one. Because now I think what it will do is it will set up the quotas that Tim automatically sets for things in the system. So Tim takes a look at, okay, how much space do I have for components? Do I really, how many components do I have? And then it produces the components it thinks we might need. And there, at the moment, there's all the standard stuff in there. And I think Tim is trying to do that, bringing in the quotas for everything it really needs. But why are we not getting... Okay, it's slow because it is slowly producing the stuff. Okay, the good thing is that I have now a lot of minerals or ores. That's really, really neat. I hope we can go a long time with them for now, if we don't build too crazy big stuff. So the next thing we should maybe consider doing is upgrading our power system, and we could go and bring in updates or upgrades for the refinery and for the assembler. Maybe go with some power upgrades, or we also we have power. We could just go with let us see how much power we are using up at the moment. It fluctuates between 3 days and 5 days or something, because every time the assembler or the refinery is running, it changes the power it needs. Okay. And a thing we definitely need to survive this whole thing is the medical station. I know that I'm at the moment basically all over the whole thing. Yeah, I need to set up some things that are, in my opinion, necessary for me. People want me to build don't know, immediately bigger drills, try to attack ships that fly through the sector just by hand with a gun and all that stuff. But at the moment, if I would die, I couldn't even get back to where I am right now, because I'm missing a medical station. And another thing that I want to do with this is definitely see the parts I found. I found rainbow gloves and all that stuff. What is missing for the... I have silver, I have nickel, I have iron. Maybe I need to set up the... let me set up the refinery to... I can also automate the refinery, I think. because then it doesn't. It basically takes a look at how, okay, what do we need next, and it doesn't. Oh, it does. Maybe it doesn't put out the stuff that I have. Don't know, that I have put in there. I'm not sure, but now silver is running. We should get our medical components as soon as possible. Then we can start to think about doing other stuff, because now I can die and I can come back to here. Good. Okay, Tim is running. Now, what else do we need for now? I need to change the setup of my solar panels. That's one thing. Maybe bring them a bit away from the station or bring them to somewhere else. Then I want to set up a bigger platform here. For what I definitely want is maybe go in and define a bit of the outlines that I want to run here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and maybe go with 9, 10, 11, and then run some more of these. We need to change this setup. These slopes will change later too, I think, because right now I'm using them to make a border to the platform that I want to have maybe some glass on or so. And yeah, I need to move these. What can I do? Oh, and another thing that I discovered yesterday is, and I'm sure I can solve that now with Tim, but one thing I want to do is get an oxygen tank. Yesterday I tried to refill my tanks and I brought in a lot of ice. So what happens when you bring in a lot of ice? The oxygen generator immediately grabs all the ice that it can get, and then it fills up, and then you can't stick your tanks in there anymore. So what I want to do is I want to have an oxygen tank that I can set up so that I can refill the tanks I'm carrying around with in here, basically. It's just a convenient thing. It's not it's not really a thing that's absolutely necessary, but it makes for convenient refilling my oxygen tanks. Okay, this works too. Yeah, now I need to definitely move this out a bit more. I could. That's what I will do. I will remove this line from here, and I will move it over to down here to maybe I need to be more careful with that. I will just risk it. I want to bring it down here because then the conveyors are out of the way up there. Today it's a lot of doing random things, basically. So can I grab the steel tubes? I sure can't. So I need another connection up there, or I need to move the nanobots to somewhere close here, because now the nanobots couldn't get to the components. That needs to change. Good. This line, conveyor line 9, will go down here now, and I will elongate it a bit so that the drill can dock there. It's starting a new game is a lot of, yeah, it's really a lot of grabbing stuff, remodeling, doing, making changes to the setup you have. Yeah, don't know. You have decided for it's weird. So 325. Can I get? Okay, here it doesn't work. So I need. I've set up the nanobots to just grind everything that has a certain color. You know that is possible, but I've set it to 325, and now I need to set it to 324 so that I can define a color in here. 300 and 100 and 100. That's a bright pink. So now I can just remove that and the nanobots deal with that. That's neat. I don't lose stuff by that logic. What is? Why was there a blinking point 143 kilometers away? Did I see that right? Has to do with the planet in some way? I'm not sure. It's everything's fine. Good. What I will do is I will move the solar panels, move them a bit away, out of the way. Maybe set up some oxygen farms too. That could help. Just having some oxygen farms, we could save up on at least a bit ice. Yeah, I might do that. Good. Next thing for me is maybe upgrade our industrial capabilities. So set up another refinery, maybe set up another assembler or so that we at the moment I run into the problem that I have too many ores for one refinery. So we need to upgrade the refinery and maybe set up another one. That should be the plan for now. Good. But people, it's a lot of work at the moment. It's a lot of going here and there and setting up things. I can't do a lot about that right now. This will continue for a bit before we can start bigger, cooler projects. And I definitely want to get to that. We have to replace a whole lot of ships and maybe, don't know, try to catch some new ones also. That will be some things that we can do. I'm still not sure about the mod. I still not sure about if I should bring back the exploration mod or if I should just go in and set up the pirates mod. I want to make it challenging, and the pirate mod, I think having more pirate attacks could be interesting, because this exploration mod is nice to find stuff. But the pirate mods, and I don't know, maybe I can set them up together. I'm not sure if that works. We will have to see. Good, people. I would say thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next video. Yeah, if you liked the video, then please leave a like on it. And yeah, again, I hope to see you in the next one. See ya, guys.